Hey guys, AuspiciousSaucy here, and welcome to episode 5 of the Valkyrie Pro Wrestling series. Now, as you can tell by the title, we've had to make a few more signings for our tournament. As you can see, I've also changed how we're going to be running the tournament. So, we've got Queen of Strong Style Day 1, which is going to be the first show. And also in this episode, we are going to have Day 2, which will be the semi-finals and the final. So this first show that we're going to book straight away is going to be the first round. So it's going to be a 16-woman tournament with our first round and then our quarterfinals. And then, of course, so this is the Saturday. On the Sunday is Day 2. And like I said, we'll be crowning our first ever Queen of Strong Style. Now, the first thing I want to do here, we obviously need to... Why is that changed? I think I changed a few things around in my my folder, so we'll have to just add these back to their rightful image, which is very easy to do. I've also actually created my own graphic here for the Queen of Strong Style, and it is what it says it is. It is a crown, so the winner will be receiving this beautiful crown here with the VALPRO logo right in the middle of it. So I think it looks pretty good. Obviously, the background for the C-verse is kind of white or very light colors, which does sort of contrast over the gems of the crown itself. But I think it looks pretty nice, and it looks very clean with the little logo in there as well. I feel like it looks pretty good. Let me know what you guys think, if you approve. But we're also going to go female only. Of course, it is a primary achievement. And it is an annual competition. So it's obviously going to be held at Day 2. And it is a tournament. And I think everything else is perfectly fine. Could maybe just do always 1v1, but there's no point. We don't actually have to do that, as we obviously know that it's going to be defended in one-on-one competition. Anyway, the next thing I wanted to do is show you the relationships page, and then we'll get into the signings. But as you can see, once again, I tried to negotiate a talent trading agreement with 5-Star. Once again, they said we're still too small, which is understandable. We're still only an insignificant size company, so they're not really going to want to at least partner up with us until we go up in size. That would be my, best guess. But what I did do is I adopted a friendly attitude towards 5-Star, and in doing so, they currently have a mildly positive opinion of VALPRO. So just doing that hopefully will, accelerate things a little bit more once we do eventually get the size that they require for us to take, or for both companies to take workers on those sort of working agreements. That would be really good, because obviously right now we have no way of getting any 5-Star workers. Basically, their whole roster just flat out refuses to come and work in Oceania. And of course, the only worker that I think we actually have is Etsuko, who was obviously originally one of the 4 workers that could actually work in Oceania. So technically, none of those workers want to come. I think the only way that people actually do want to come is if they're currently unemployed. Now, with that being said, as you can see, we've got the roster here. We've signed 2 really, really solid workers. We also signed another worker that's young, and I'll go over her in a second. But the first one that we signed was Purple Viper. Now, I did have an Ole series going back on 2016. It was actually part of the Road to Glory series, so it technically wasn't actually Ole. But Purple Viper is an absolute beast for any women's division. It doesn't matter which company you're at. The fact that we've got her on $20 per show seems almost ridiculous, but of course, she does only have 1 popularity in New South Wales. Now, as you can see, she left Ole, as you can see, the 1st of May. And that was essentially when I was actually looking for these women. So I felt like it was almost too good to be true and it was literally perfect timing. Now I'll show you her skills. She might be 35 years old, but she is absolutely incredible. A real top talent. 88 basics, 84 selling, good safety and consistency there as well. She's got 87 psychology. 87. I mean, she's going to stay with the company. Hopefully we can keep her around for the whole series. Because once she retires, she would make a very, very good road agent as well. Has to be said. Incredible stuff. She's also really good on the microphone as well. So the entertainment skills are there. And she's got 62 star quality, which I think is, it's about enough to really get someone over. The top row, the primary skills, 75 flashiness it almost speaks for itself. And she's got really good aerial, really solid technical, and I would say, 46 is pretty good for brawling as well, even though that's not exactly a sort of luchador's forte. As you can see, she also passes on knowledge, which also means she could potentially become a mentor and get a few proteges underneath her, which would also be, a top thing for us to get in, especially once we get our own dojo graduates. If some of those become her proteges, they'll essentially be getting, microphone work, psychology. So I think you can even get selling as well from a mentor. And what a mentor she would actually be. Anyway, she's also got the professional personality, and of course she's a very, very talented heel worker. So yeah, she's the first one. 74% on her mask. Of course, I talked in one of the previous episodes actually about getting in a masked worker. So I'm super happy that she does wear a mask. And of course, she's also kind of filling I don't want to say it's a quota, because that's a horrible way to say it. But I want to have a very international, almost multicultural company. Obviously, we've got a lot of Japanese workers. We've got Thea Davis, who's English. We've got Canadian workers. We've got American workers. And now we've got a Mexican worker in there as well. So it's, we've also got New Zealanders. So we're very, we're very worldwide, shall we say. Obviously, the only downside to that is we actually have no Australian workers. And of course, we're also based in Australia. Oh, the irony. Anyway. Yeah, so our next signing, another really impressive one as well, if I can find her. Where is she? Up here, Christy Higgins. So she's 32, so she's got a little bit more time on her side. Has 4 popularity somehow in New South Wales. Absolutely no idea how that's sort of happened, but yeah, she's also really incredible. Not as good by any stretch of the imagination. Party Animal's not the best personality as well, but as you can see, she's also, I would say she's a high flyer, but she's almost like a luchador, similar to Purple Viper. Really good aerial flashness, and then she's also got pretty good technical and pretty good brawling there as well. She, on the other hand, has really high star quality. She's got 80 star quality with 87 sex appeal there as well. And again, I think she actually has she might have the same entertainment stats as Purple Viper. I think they almost look identical from what I can remember. Anyway, she's also got, pretty good basics, 82, 73 selling, and 75 psychology there as well. Nice stamina at 78. So she'll be able to put on a decent match. And you have to think that, we've also signed some other pretty good workers like Hashimoto. Even Chikanatsu has been, or she looks like she's going to be pretty good as well. But these two Hashimoto's probably the best on the roster overall. And I only say that because she has 77 brawling and very good technical ability there as well. But Purple Viper looks like she's going to be a real sort of thorn in the side for Hashimoto. And eventually, potentially, Etsuko as well. Now, they're all 3 of them are currently heels. So down the road, we're going to have to do a little bit of something interesting. I think Hashimoto, yeah, I think all 3 of them actually are better working as heels, but they can work as baby faces if they need to. So it'll be interesting. And it's also going to be really interesting just to find out who is going to win the Queen of Strong Style tournament for this episode. So I think that's everything I needed to go over. So let's get into booking the show. And I've already actually booked the tournament here. So as you can see, I've set it up in the game. Probably one of the best features about 2020 is the fact that you can actually set up your tournaments like this. And of course, you can also set up grouped tournaments as well with our group stages. Which I also think it's just perfect, really. It is. It's something that it just makes the gameplay so much easier. So I would really recommend sort of familiarizing yourself with that in the future. Now, it's also beneficial that we've got the tournament button here, because I, for the life of me, cannot remember who's taken on who. So our first match is Calliope Woodshark taking on Christy Higgins. Now, all these matches are probably going to be 10 minutes. Some of them might also have to be 8 minutes, because we do only have an hour and a half to book both. Well, each show is an hour and a half. So in total, we've got 3 hours. But obviously, this first show, there is literally going to be 12 matches. So we really need to keep a close eye on the time. Obviously, let me just go back here for a second. We only have 112 minutes. So in saying that, each match is essentially going to run for 12 minutes, because obviously you've got the 10 minutes of match time plus 2 minutes for entrances. So like I said, some of them are going to have to be 8 minutes. We might just do all 8-minute matches for the first round, and then maybe for the quarterfinals we'll do 10 minutes. Obviously, the main event for this show is going to have to be about 10 minutes long. We might try and give it a little bit more time, depending on what's left over. But we also need to put in an angle at some stage during the show as well. I'm pretty sure we need to do that. So, with that said, let's go our first match, and it is Calliope Woodshark taking on the debutante Christy Higgins. So again, we'll go. I think 8 minutes is probably going to be the sweet spot. And yeah, we're going to have a little bit of an upset here. Christy Higgins is going to pull off an interesting victory. And I have to say, it's a pretty big defeat for Calliope. Maybe she was expecting a bit of an easier first round for herself, and took Christy Higgins a little bit too lightly. So the next match is Debbie Rose, and she's going to be taking on Aki Cameo. I believe that is correct. So again, just going to go for 8 minutes. These two shows are going to be so expensive, but I'm not going to really worry about money too much. Like I said, we're already losing nearly 20,000 per month. This month might just be about 22 or 23,000. So yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, and of course, we are going to have some, I guess, heel versus heel and face versus face. But again, we're only. How would I say it? Let's actually go to the product. Yeah, it's loosely enforced. I was going to say it's not exactly too important, but loosely enforced makes it sound a lot more beneficial. Okay, so up next we've got Thea Davis and Lily Crash. Now, Lily Crash, she is the third signing that I did make between episodes. Reason why I didn't really go over her is she's only 21. She's never worked before. She's basically a new worker generated into the game. I really like the name, and I like the look of her as well, with the short black hair, with the long pink streak, I guess you would call it. But yeah, she's pretty big. She's a lightweight. Says she's nearly 200 pounds. And yeah, she's from the TCW School of Pro Wrestling, which is interesting because I didn't realize that they actually put women through. Anyway, doesn't matter. She's also a Pacific American wrestler, so some Pacific Islander heritage probably behind her, which is pretty cool as well. Again, fitting with our worldwide sort of reach that we have for workers. Although she is American, so yeah. So she'll be taking on, I think it was Thea Davis, wasn't it? Let's save that. Let me just double check. Yeah, Thea taking on Lily Crash. I just like the look of her. Her stats, I'll show her stats, I didn't show them. They're okay. She's really lacking a lot of psychology. She's got good technical ability. Brawling's not too bad. And she's actually got really good Puro. So if she was to go to 5-star, she would do a relatively decent job. She's got really good basics. Selling's not too bad. Really, really good consistency. She's also a professional, so I think that's going to help a little bit. And then she's also got relatively good star quality, and the entertainment skills. They're not perfect, but I guess they're workable, if that makes sense. We could probably get them up to scratch over the course of about 5 years. Hopefully. Anyway, this one's pretty cut and dry, I think. There's no real way that Lily is going to be able to do anything too special on this occasion. Okay, so up next we have Purple Viper making her debut and taking on Ruby Reese, which is a very interesting match. Obviously, Ruby, at the moment, she's on a bit of a losing streak. She did get a victory in a multi-women match, but yeah, just can't really get it done one-on-one when she's by herself. And obviously, Purple Viper is in she's levels above. Let's just say levels. All right, next match we've got Ray Chikanatsu taking on Black Diamond. Should be a decent match. I think Ray will be able to carry her up a little bit. Once again, we'll give that 8 minutes there as well. Obviously, there's a clear winner there. Got to be Ray. Nice. Okay, next match is going to be Yu Hashimoto taking on Rekka. Now, this is a match. When you talk about a first round match, I don't think it really gets much bigger than this one, because if you think about it, Rekka has been on a bit of a dominant tear. She's also now up to 10 popularity as well. And this kind of goes to show how dominant she actually has been. But unfortunately, for her, it's not going to be a successful night. And you can expect some fallout from that one as well. Now we've got 2 more matches to go. We've got Kate Lily taking on Kichi Mochizuki. We'll book that one in now as well. So Kate and Kichi. There we go. Again, this one's also pretty straightforward. I almost said Kichi, but it is going to be Kate getting the victory here as well. I'm really interested to see how all these matches perform, because on paper, they really look like they could potentially, what I've done is I've tried to put like either a young worker with a more senior worker. Obviously, it makes it a little bit predictable. Some of the matches, though, are not too predictable. Like, I think Woodchuck is a bit of a big upset because she has been dominant. Of course, she won the Fatal 4-Way match as well recently, as well as getting to the semi-final of the Fateful 8 tournament as well. And then who else? We've got the Hashimoto beating Rekka. That's obviously a big upset there as well. So we've got a couple of upsets in that first round. And I think we have one more to come. We've got Joy Rider. And Joy Rider is taking on Sakura Sada, the 36-year-old Joshi worker. And yeah, believe it or not, but Joy Rider is going to pick up a victory here over the much more senior worker. And yeah, it's potentially going to hopefully propel Joy Rider up a little bit. Anyway, so that's that. Not really, I kind of want to order these properly, but definitely want this one to go on first. Let's work the crowd with that. And then, I mean, the rest don't really matter, but I kind of would like them almost to be in order, because I think after we're going to have to run with the next sort of match, obviously being the quarterfinals, but I was going to say that I got it right, but I don't think I did. That's definitely the last match. I think that match is there. Kate Lily, Ray, Purple Viper needs to be down one more. I think Black Diamond needs to be down here. So Thea needs to be third. All right. Just getting these sort of little things sorted out here. And I think that's correct now. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, so with that said, as you can see, the tournament doesn't actually update until the matches are made. Now, in my head, I was wondering, because in 2020 there's a whole weird new booking system that I personally haven't really looked into. Now, I know you can start a show and you can interrupt your show and change the booking on the fly. The thing is, I'm wondering if you can actually book matches. Now, like I said, I haven't really taken a look into this. This is kind of something totally new to me. Maybe I won't do it. I really don't want to risk these shows. I feel strongly about this tournament, and I really want this to be sort of our big standout tournament we have every year. Obviously, the Fateful Eight it's not really focusing on, international talent. It is kind of, but it's more focusing on the best talent that we have in the company at that specific time, as well as the one sort of youth prospect that we're gonna push into that tournament. But this one is kind of international. Obviously, it's got an international feel, but we also want to keep it where we're able to bring in workers from other companies. Hopefully, once we get a bit bigger, so companies like EWA from Europe, obviously Oli from Mexico. Of course, we've got CZCW, QAW. Who's the other one? Who else has women? Actually, that might be it from the US. Obviously, US Pro and those types of companies have them. I feel like I'm missing someone, but maybe I'm not. Anyway, then of course in Canada, we've also got ACPW, who have a bit of a integrated women's sort of division, but, well, it's integrated, it's not a division. Anyway, off topic. So yeah, I want to keep this as sort of an international feel where we bring in outside workers to come in and take on some of the best that VALPRO has to offer in the hope of winning a possible world title shot in the future. So yeah, that's what we're going to try and do. Anyway, I think what I'll do, let's keep booking. So the way I think it works is I think the winner of each 2 matches versus each other in the quarterfinal. I think that's the way it works. So I guess we'll go with that. So it's going to be Christy Higgins and Debbie Rose. So they're going to be in the first quarterfinal match. We'll give that 10 minutes. We might have to lower these to 8 as well. But it's going to be a big victory for young Christy there. Well, semi-young. She is, 32 years old? Yeah. Why is that coming out the opener? Anyway, doesn't matter too much. The next match is going to be Thea Davis taking on Purple Viper. Another really big match there. And this one's an interesting one because I would like to go one way, but I think we're going to go this way instead. I don't want to say what it is because we might even be able to call this match now that I think about it. Yeah, we definitely can. Okay, that's actually pretty cool. We probably will go with this for the main event. I think that's definitely main event worthy. Yeah, so that's definitely going to be our main event. The next 2 matches are Rei Chikanatsu and Yu Hashimoto, so an all Joshi worker quarterfinal here. Where is she? Rei Chikanatsu. This match also could potentially be the main event. But I think we'll go with Purple Viper and Thea. For obvious reasons. So, yeah, scripted, decisive. There's going to be another thing I need to talk about. There's going to be a lot of overusing because a lot of these girls, the newer ones that we brought in, they're unimportant to our fans, which really sucks. I kind of wish that it was almost still the old format where you could literally change someone's push to a mid-carder, for example, and then have them work for a longer amount of time. I guess they changed that because it was a little bit too gamey, almost. You could, sign a worker, put his push to mid-card or even upper mid-card if you really wanted to, and have him wrestle in, 30-minute matches if you really wanted to. But it does kind of suck because obviously Hashimoto, compare her to the rest of our roster, she's above and beyond by far the best worker that we have. Like I said, Purple Viper on a similar level. But she's going to be penalized. She's going to be penalized. And we're already over the time. Okay, so some of these matches we're going to have to go even shorter. For some of these. I guess the ones that I'll go shorter with will be these workers. So we'll make this one 6 minutes, which is pretty dreadful. This one can be 6 minutes as well. Those two are fine. I think Purple Viper might be okay. Let me look. No, she's being used far too much, even still. This is the I knew we were going to run into this problem, but I was just hoping that it wouldn't be as bad as I think it is. Yeah, I guess we're probably just gonna have to roll with it, to be honest. I might even lower Thea's down to 6. And maybe Kishi as well. Kate Lily. We'll go 6 there. Alright. I mean, that's still not gonna be... We're gonna have to literally lower all of them, actually. Down to 6 minutes. I want to leave that one at 8. If there's one that I want to leave at 8, I want it to be... Actually, Purple Viper, Ruby Reese is our Steal the Show match. Realistically, that one should probably be 8 minutes. So I'll do that. Because we're going to get penalized anyway, so it doesn't matter. This one can also be 6. That's fine. Okay, now we should be okay. Yeah, we've only got 10 minutes. I guess this final match, which is going to be Kate and Joyrider, we'll have to make 8 and have no angles, which is almost seems ridiculous, but yeah, it is what it is. Okay, I think I bit off a little bit more than I could chew for this first show. Anyway, Kate Lily going to get the victory there as well. Okay, so there we go. But once again, we're getting a penalty. So I wonder if I can go back and change my product. Yeah, probably not. I have to say, this is tough. I mean, the only other thing we could really do is potentially put a couple of matches on the pre-show. That's it's not something I really want to do, though. I'm just trying to think of what we can do. I was kind of expecting this problem, but I didn't think it would be this bad. In my head, for some reason, I thought, okay, well, we're doing 12 matches, you know. Surely we should be able to run enough, even with one angle in there. Alright, so I think we're going to have to lower this one to 6. Kate Lily, this one's going to have to go all the way down. Back to where the quarterfinals begin. And I think we're going to have to go these down to 8 as well. I will keep the main event at 12, though. So we've got 6 minutes now. I'll give an angle to Calliope Woodchuck. Hopefully that's going to work. Okay, it actually worked. Instead of Calliope, I might actually give it to Thea instead. I think that'd be more beneficial, actually. Yeah, and I think we'll actually have that go on before the last quarterfinal match, sort of the main event of the whole show. Okay, so we've got another penalty there for Glenn Lee having too much refereeing to do. I wonder if there any referees locally that we could sign? There is not. Okay, that's very unfortunate. Anyway, let's run the show. We may as well at this point. We've eventually got there. Okay. Is this a work the crowd match? It is. Okay, perfect. Let's run it. Alright, so we actually start off with a 41 rated match here. Open the show. I thought this one was going to be pretty good, considering it's only 6 minutes. That's impressive. But we do have Christy Higgins defeating Calliope Woodchuck in 5:59 by pinfall with a Florida upswing. Of course, Christy Higgins, big upset, getting the victory there. She did outperform her, though, with a 41 in-ring performance. But unfortunately, her fiery babyface gimmick getting an initial rating of awful. I think Christy... Actually, Christy is a face, isn't she? I'm pretty sure I made her a face. Okay, well that's actually interesting. Anyway, oh, that's not good. Gives a large penalty to psychology during matches. That's really bad. We're gonna have to change that gimmick as soon as possible, or as soon as we possibly can, really. But a 41 solid. We then move into a 36 rated match where we have Debbie Rose defeating Aki Cameo in 6:07 by pinfall with a thorn cutter. Unfortunately, Cameo was really off her game, only managing to get a 19 in-ring. That's unfortunate, but a solid 43 from Debbie. Like to see that. Alright, we then move into a 34 rated match where we have Thea Davis defeating Lily Crash in 6:24 by pinfall with a flying elbow drop. Thea with a 36. Lily Crash debuting her Rebel gimmick, getting an initial rating of very good. That's not too bad. No pros and cons there with her, so I guess that's kind of beneficial, considering we got the bad psychology negative or con with Chrissy. Okay, next match. This is the Steal the Show match. Gets a 40 rating here. We have Purple Viper defeating Ruby Reese in 6:05 by pinfall with a Viper Bite. But unfortunately, yeah, Purple Viper debuting her sneaky Rudo gimmick, getting an initial rating of poor. That's another bad gimmick for a talented worker. That really sucks. It's, yeah, just not good. Anyway, she gets a 40 in-ring, and then we got Ruby Reese with a nice 26 there as well. No pros and cons. We then go into a 36 rated match where we have Rei Chikanatsu defeating Black Diamond in 6:21 by submission with a Blue Crab surprise. And yeah, apparently Rei and Black Diamond have pretty good chemistry, and it lifted the match. And then we also have Rei Chikanatsu getting better at her gimmick as well. I think she was one of the ones that had a bad gimmick as well, if I remember correctly from the last episode. Anyway, moving into our next first round match. And boy, is that a good match. We get a 48 rated quarterfinal match. We have Yu Hashimoto defeating the undefeated Rekka in 5:36 by pinfall with the end game. And that's a solid in-ring performance from Hashimoto. 48, and Rekka only getting a 24 there. I mean, Hashimoto is super good. I'm so surprised that she actually left 5-star. I mean, it's so good for our company. It literally is probably one of the best things that could have happened. Anyway, we move on. I think this is our second last match in the first round. We get a 42 rating here. We have Kate Lilly defeating Kichi Mochizuki, or Mochizuki, sorry. Really struggled to get that name out for some reason. In 6:12 by pinfall with a Lily launch pad. Another really solid performance there from Kate Lilly. Of course, her and Debbie Rose doing really good things together. Well, apart from each other, but also somewhat together. And our final first round match, probably the worst of the bunch. We get a 29 rating here. And we have Joy Rider defeating Sakura Sada in 6:17 by pinfall with a Rider Rocker. And yeah, Joy Rider with a 25 and Sada on her last appearance for us, so she will not be appearing on night 2, or day 2, I should say. Getting a 28 for herself. respectable. We brought her in for Joshi Invasion, really. So yeah, she's done well. Done well. All right, we then go into our quarterfinal matches, starting off with a 44 rated match here. We have Christy Higgins defeating Debbie Rose in 8:24 by pinfall with a Florida upswing. So Christy moving into the semifinals here. Very impressive stuff. Of course, she's on debut. We then go into another 44 rated match. Really good stuff. We have Kate Lilly defeating Joy Rider in 8:10 by pinfall with a Lilly launch pad. Solid 47 in-ring performance there from Kate. That's very impressive. Similar level to Hashimoto. And speaking of Hashimoto, we get a 45 rated match, so one better than the last two quarterfinals. And yeah, Hashimoto defeating her fellow countrywoman, Rei Chikanatsu, in 7:47 by pinfall with the end game. And as you can see, she's also getting a 47 there, which I think is 1 point lower than her last match rating. Anyway, it doesn't matter too much. Our pre-main event angle, our only angle on the show, getting us a 34 there. Of course, we have Thea Davis. And she says that she wants to pull off an upset. You know, she's followed the career of Purple Viper. She knows all about her. Of course, Thea, a bit of a world setter herself. Obviously from England, working over in Europe. Of course, now working down in Australia. And she says that she wants to pull off an upset. You know, Purple Viper is one of the favorites for the tournament, and she has a chance to knock her out in the quarterfinals. Surprisingly, the main event actually does worse than the other quarterfinals. We get a 39. Interesting. I honestly thought that this match would be a lot better. That is the reason why I gave it 10 minutes. Yeah, it's interesting. But we do have Purple Viper defeating Thea Davis in 10:02 by pinfall with a Viper bite. Yeah, Purple Viper actually 1 point lower in ring than Thea Davis. Of course, she doesn't have any popularity, so can't really judge her too badly. But yeah, I mean, that's an interesting match. Like I said, I thought it would have been at least a 40. So I'm kind of a little bit, I don't want to say depressed about it, but disappointed would probably be the perfect way to put it. Anyway, let's end this first show. We actually get a 39, so I guess that's pretty fitting. I think that's actually our worst ever show, which is unfortunate because, like I said, if we had gone for the other match that I wanted to do, potentially for the main event, which was Hashimoto taking on Chikanatsu, that would have actually, hopefully, or potentially brought our overall show rating up a little bit more. So yeah. Anyway, let's do some praising. Let's praise Yu Hashimoto, and we'll praise Rei as well. And then I guess we'll encourage Purple Viper. Again, she does have the bad gimmick, so that could potentially be what it was. So that's a little bit unfortunate, but hopefully it'll start to get better. And even if it doesn't get better, we will change it at the first sort of chance we get. Okay, so there is Sakura Sada leaving. Let's take a quick look here at the size. And there we go, we're up to 7. So I think we've just jumped 2 points again within the space of another month. That's insane. So we're up to 7 popularity in New South Wales. And we do have another show. Not sure if we'll actually get any popularity from this show, because you are capped out at a certain amount of popularity per month. But that's perfectly fine because I only wanted 2 popularity from these 2 shows. So if we don't get it, or we've already gotten it, realistically, if we don't get any more popularity, like I said, perfectly fine. Let's do a little rib here on Purple Viper. Success going down well with the locker room, but it has backfired with Purple Viper, and she's upset. Morale issues? No morale issues there. Yeah, it's nice to see. And we're expecting 94 fans as well. Okay, so there is the tournament. It has actually updated itself. I was a little bit worried about that not updating. But But as you can see, it did go straight to the quarterfinals. Good to know. All right. So there are semifinals. We'll also run a 6-woman tag, I think, as well. But let's do our semifinal matches first up. So our first semifinal is the 2 debutantes, obviously debuting this tournament. We've got Christy Higgins and Purple Viper. So let's get them 2 together. Christy and Purple Viper. I believe that is face versus, yeah. That is actually face versus heel. And I think... Yeah, I was just double checking her stamina there. Yeah, she's up to 10 popularity already as well. And Higgins is also at 10, so... That's actually pretty interesting. Anyway, I think I want to... Do I want to keep it 8? I think I might want to go 8 minutes because I would like to run a 20-minute main event for the final. And again, I don't really want to essentially be penalized. But yeah, unfortunately, there's a pretty clear winner in this one, and I like the way that match is booked as well. And then the other semi-final will be, I think it's Yu Hashimoto in, is it 8? I need to double check that. Who is the, it is Kate, isn't it? Yeah, I thought so. This one also a little bit predictable, which I guess kind of sucks for one of these 2 competitors, but it is what it is. And I think we've got a really, really good final. Basically the highest level of talent we can get, I think, in my opinion. And we can actually definitely call both of these matches. This one we might also make our Steal the Show. Because that'll go on second. This one will go on first. Can Viper speak English? Fluent English. Okay, that's perfect. That actually works out really well. Hashimoto is up to 8 popularity as well. Is exactly the same as Kate. So that's also pretty beneficial. Let's book that 6-women tag. Obviously, none of the competitors for this match, but we will use our current World Heavyweight Champion, Etsuko Ariyoshi. And I guess we'll do a heel and a face team. So she can team up with Debbie Rose and maybe Ray? Or maybe Rekka. Let's go Ray Chikanatsu. And they can take on... Yeah, let's go with the team of Joyrider, Calliope Woodchuck, and Ruby Reese as well. That'll be a nice 12-minute match there. Obviously, we'll make the winner our current World Heavyweight Champion, Etsuko. But either way, that should be a pretty good match. I like that. That's going to go there to essentially break up the tournament matches. And then, of course, we've got our main event, which will be Purple Viper taking on Yu Hashimoto for the Queen of Strong Style tournament for the crown. And I'm looking forward to this one. I think this could be a really, really good match. I think overall it has the potential to by far be our best ever match. I guess it's almost just if it's going to be that good and live up to those expectations. Hopefully it does. Hopefully it does. Anyway, so that's going to go on last, obviously being the final of the show. We might even need to put in another match in there somewhere. Yeah, potentially. But what we'll do 2 angles. So I want to give one to Purple Viper. Give it 8 minutes. Chuck it in there. What I also want to do really quickly is add these girls into this storyline really quickly. So just the main 4, Hashimoto, and I think the other one's already in there. That'll just give hopefully it'll give their matches a little bit of a storyline boost. And help them out just a little bit more. Them, I think I maybe... Can Ruby speak? No. Can this team speak? I don't think this team can really speak either, because I don't think she can... She can speak passable English. What about Ray? No. Okay. A little bit... Okay, I'll do this instead. Let's do this. Let's go Etsuko. And she'll be cutting a promo onto Calliope Woodchuck. I feel like that's a pretty, you know, almost a beneficial way to go about things. I think we will script it as well. Actually, we'll go them both on entertainment, because that might actually help out Calliope Woodchuck as well. That'll go before their 6-woman tag. And unfortunately, I don't think we can give Hashimoto any type of angle either, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it's fine. I'm wondering if maybe I can give Christy... I could give Christy an angle and then swap the Purple Viper angle later. Let's have a look at that real quick. We might get penalized for having too little match time on the show. Especially with 8... Oh, it actually works. Alright, we're going to go with that show. I like the look of it. Alright, let's run it. Let's double check. Yep, everything looks good. We've got 4 matches on the card. And let's run the show. Alright, so we start off with a 28 rated angle from Christy Higgins. Of course, she's basically come out talking to the fans, saying that, you know, on night 1, she won both of her matches in the knockout tournament. She won the first round, won the quarterfinal, and now finds herself up against what you would call a living legend in Purple Viper. Of course, her in the Mexican scene is she's done it all. She's a former champion, and you know, she's really well respected despite using some potential underhanded tactics throughout her career. And Christy basically says that, you know, she's got nothing to lose. She's got momentum behind her, as does Purple Viper, but she thinks she can get the job done. Good to see she worked the crowd well, using the freedom to improvise to her advantage. And luckily, she's also getting better at a gimmick as well. With that, I think she had awful, and Purple Viper had poor. So yeah, it's not too bad. 28's not too bad. Their match together, unfortunately, not that good. Yeah, really not that good. We only get a 39. We do have Purple Viper defeating Christy Higgins in 8:06 by pinfall with a Viper Bite. Purple Viper with a 39 in ring is okay. And Christy, bit of a stinker there, only getting a 30. Yeah. Did get the crowd hotter though, so that's okay. The next match though, that is a solid rating. We get a 53 rated semi-final where we have Yu Hashimoto defeating Kate Lilly in 7:48 by pinfall with the end game. What a match. Yeah. I mean, Kate Lilly, actually the standout of this match, which I almost find hard to believe, but there we go. Yu Hashimoto with a 48 in-ring, and then Kate Lilly with a 50 in-ring performance. Respect. Put some respect on her name. Okay, we then go into a 32 rated angle between Ariyoshi and Woodchuck. And of course, I think because Etsuko is the heel world champion, and of course, Woodchuck lost a title match against Etsuko. Basically, this is just going to be like a standard bullying angle where Etsuko's making fun of Calliope. I guess backstage, it doesn't really matter where they are. It can be in the ring, because obviously they're about to verse each other in multi-women competition. But yeah, Etsuko's just saying that Calliope is a loser, and she's never going to be able to beat Etsuko, and Etsuko's going to stay the world champion for a long time to come. The 6-woman tag getting a 49 rating here, where we do have the heel team of Etsuko, Debbie Rose, and Rei Chakanitsu defeating Joyrider, Calliope Woodchuck, and Ruby Reese in 11:40, when Etsuko Ariyoshi submitted Ruby Reese with an Ariyoshi lockdown. yeah, it's a really good match. A 49, very solid. Unfortunately, Chikanatsu was really off her game, so that kind of probably dragged it down a little bit. But Atsuko with a 61 in-ring performance. Girl is crazy. Absolutely crazy. I'm so happy that she was available at the start of the game. Makes things so much easier. Anyway, as you can see, she also, her performance stood out as being good. And she was obviously head and shoulders above everybody else in the match. So there you go. Alright. We then move into a 34 rated angle from Purple Viper. And she basically says that she's here to win the Queen of Strong Style. And yeah, she was superb without working with a script. And she had the crowd in the palm of her hand the entire time. That's an okay angle. I like that. Considering her popularity, it was only, what, 10? So that's not too bad. Well done, without a script as well. And we have our final of the Queen of Strong Style. And that's so unfortunate. That is so unfortunate. We get a 42, which is still an okay rating. It's not too bad. But as you can see, we have negative chemistry between these two girls. Literally like one of the worst things that could possibly happen to us. Because they're both of our, well, I would say they're going to be two of our biggest stars in the company. Anyway, we do have Yu Hashimoto defeating Purple Viper in 1953 by pinfall with the endgame. And we have Hashimoto winning the VALPRO Queen of Strong Style title, or tournament title. So yeah, she gets the crown, puts it on her head, and we end the show. But yeah, as you can see, they don't seem to click, and it made for an awkward bout. So that's frustrating. That's really frustrating. But I guess in a weird way, it's kind of a good thing that we actually know this now. Even though it would have been nice to know it before. Anyway, Hashimoto with a 41 in ring. And we've got Purple Viper with a 39. Alright, let's finish the show. And we get a 40 overall show rating. So what's 1 point higher than the last show? It's about the same as what we've been getting recently. So I can't be too discouraged, I guess. Now that I think about it, it might have actually been a better idea having Christy Higgins defeat Purple Viper. Obviously, hindsight is a great thing. But even still, Purple Viper is the better of the two workers. So yeah, I think we might have made a correct decision there. Anyway, let's go Calliope Woodchuck. Let's go Ruby Reese, because I'm assuming Ruby's probably going to be maybe a little bit upset, and we'll go Kate Lilly as well for that 50 in-ring performance she got on that show. That was really something. I might even think about potentially pushing her a little bit harder than I was going to originally. Yeah. I think we kind of know who the first tag team champions are going to be. So Hashimoto feeling the effects of a grueling schedule, which is understandable. He's literally wrestled 4 matches in the space of 2 days, with that last match going for quite some time. Anyway, next episode we have Sheevolution, where Hashimoto will get her World Heavyweight title shot, and she will be taking on Atsuko as well. So that's pretty good. Yeah, I guess I made Lily Crash's contract only 2 appearances. I'm sort of wondering why I did that. Interesting. We might let her go because the roster's getting a little bit big now. But we'll probably bring her back at some stage in the future as well. I'm kind of hoping she gets picked up by maybe QAW or even CZCW as well. She is American, so yeah. Anyway, let's check the size before we end it. And as you can see, we're still at 7, so that's perfectly fine. I'm very happy with that. And the prestige of the tournament title, the crown, has actually gone up to 38. So that's a 8-point improvement. It's very, very decent to see. Okay, well, that's going to be it for me, guys. Please make sure you smash the like button if you haven't already. And if you're a new viewer, make sure you are subscribed to the channel with the notification bell turned on. Make sure you ding that bell, guys. Apart from that, as always, take it easy and goodbye.